Hi, my name is Scott Strohs, and this is MySQL Shorts. In another video, we talked about using JavaScript to create stored functions in MySQL. Today, we're going to show how you can debug those functions. Let's take a look at some test data we'll be using. In a table named JSDebug, we have three columns, ID, A, and B. A and B both contain integer values. We are going to create a stored function using JavaScript that divides two numbers. But we're going to add some validation to make sure we don't get an error if we try to divide by 0. We name our function division, and we specify that there are two arguments, A and B, both of which are data type int. We specify double as the return type, and JavaScript as the language used for the function. Lastly, we use double $ signs to tell MySQL we're about to start defining the function body. Inside the function body, the first thing we do is create another function. This one is called validDenominator. JavaScript functions defined this way can only be used inside of the stored function. We can't use them anywhere else. ValidDenominator takes a single argument named num. When debugging JavaScript, console.log can be a developer's best friend. Here, we call console.log and pass the string validating input value and then the value of num. Lastly, we return whether or not the value of num does not equal 0. The last line of our stored function uses the function validDenominator to determine what gets returned. If B is a valid denominator, we return A divided by B. If B is not a valid denominator, we return null. Now that our function is defined, let's use it in a query. Here, we call select division A, B as demo from JSDebug. We see there are several rows with the value of null. This is because in that row, the value of B was 0. So, how do we see what the output was for our console.log? To get the console.log information, we need to run a query. We use the MLE session state function, and we pass in the string std out. I use \G at the end of this query, so the result is easier to read. Each row in this query shows the output from our console.log. Note, there are 10 lines because there were 10 rows in the query that we ran. Thanks for watching. Please be sure to hit like and subscribe. Also, there'll be a link in the description for any code or files we used during this video.